that shop. Simply because everybody comes with their license. You board Embasava. You want to go to Kitengela. I'm told Kitengela is the nearest place, or Ngong. And Madam Speaker, the song called Enda Usikia Vibaya Huko Kwenu, when you want to listen, the people of copyright society just walks into the matatu and they say, where is the license to allow you to listen to that song that says, who is your guy? So I don't know. So, so at the end of the day, Madasika, it is the biggest challenge. I think this said that we must think, and I can see a number of serious colleagues here, even at the lowest level. And I want to ask Senator Sifuna, can you have advised Governor Sakaja to streamline the issuance of license? They are destroying and frustrating our hustlers and those people who are selling new shoes the other day at night. I want to imagine, Madam Speaker, Senator Sifuna is not only active at night. I hope he's also active during the day, Madam Speaker. When you move, Madam Speaker, because I had only 5 points on the aspect of revocation of the license, I think what my proposal is, it should be easy to give you the license, but hard to revoke it. I think that should be easier, so that you protect, because, Madam Speaker, somebody can be malicious and decide to withdraw your license, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on the funds of the board, of course, Madam Speaker, on this part, the funds of the board shall consist of monies appropriated by Parliament. Where is the money? Madam Speaker, you are aware that how can, and you know it is good, Senator Siengo is part of the people who are questioning the Finance Bill 2023. How can we get the money if you do not allow us to pass the Finance Bill 2023 to get the money to appropriate to this board? And Madam Speaker, we have just said in House Levy Fund, it is 3%. For people who earn more than certain amount, it's only 2,500. And the biggest employer, which is government, will match the same amount. And you can reclaim your money within the 7 years. That is 2,500, Madam Speaker. So how does it, and Madam Speaker, you need to protect me from my chair, Senator Kajwang and Senator Ledama. I don't know what they are eating, but it looks like they are. You need to appropriate monies. Where do you get this money if we do not collect through taxes? As we talk, the debt ceiling, Madam Speaker, that was raised by Parliament was 8 trillion. Both local and foreign debt, Madam Speaker, to this country is 9.4 trillion as we talk today. So it is either we tax, we pay through the tax, or we borrow more. Borrowing more, Madam Speaker, is no longer sustainable, because with time, the country might not be able to repay and we might be default, and we lose serious national strategic assets. Madam Speaker, I remember our former president, when he was giving out the interview in Mombasa, he had said he would disclose the agreement of the Chinese company that financed the SGR. Madam Speaker, no disclosure was ever made. So we don't know whether JKIA was a collateral or Mombasa Port, because with time, the creditworthiness and raising of taxes and revenue becomes a challenge, Madam Speaker. And therefore, I think, Senator Siengo, you need to look, because you need also to have a board. I wish you could add, even apart from, I think donations can work, grants, loans, or gifts made to the board, and I think that is better. It can sustain the board. But talking about appropriating monies, from where I sit, and looking at projecting the economic situation of the country, we might not have spare money to put it into the board, Madam Speaker. Finally, on the issue of violation of the law, that is the final part, Madam Speaker. Like incentives, of course, I agree with you. what you should be pushing is that let us also give subsidized fertilizer to maize farmers, to cotton farmers, to tea farmers, to coffee farmers, to sugarcane farmers. Let us give everybody a standardized subsidized. On the issue of clause 45, because I'm closing that one, a person who commits an offense under this act for which no penalty is provided is liable on conviction of not less than 20,000 or not twice the value of the cotton or byproduct. Madam Speaker, I think 20,000 is small money. If you want to make this law to be deterrent, Madam Speaker, for you and me who studied criminal law, is you should create the law to be deterrent, to discourage people. So if you say 20,000, somebody will pay. Why don't you increase, Senator Siengo, to even 1.5 million or 1 million to deter? Because the aim or provision of an offense of sentencing and punishment, Madam Speaker, is to deter individuals from participating. And also increase, you can put up to 3 years maximum jail term or both. And also I agree with you on the aspect of corporate governance, especially on lifting the veil. Of course, if you misappropriate the funds, and Senator Siengo, and through you, Madam Speaker, you have had the commitment of the President that he will not entertain any corruption or misappropriation of public funds. And you saw swept clean KEMSA. We are sweeping clean the issue of sugar cane, not sugar cane, the sugar. And I'm told somewhere here in Nairobi, somebody bought a half a kilo. When they want to make tea, it turned into black. So the commitment of the President, and I agree with you, on punishing the corruption has been how high or close you are. You must fail full force of the law. And I think that's a goodwill that we need as a country. Because if it is from the highest office, and he didn't tell us 100 days like during COVID, Madam Speaker, we served in the COVID committee then. And at that time, we were told within 100 days, heads will roll. This one, when Global Fund only reported, those people were fired, Madam Speaker. So the upshot of this bill is the intention is good, the form is good, but maybe to remove one or two only clauses that I think it might affect. Madam Speaker, and you know there is no provision of the law that lies idle. You might just find one provision that will affect everything, that will negate the goodness of the bill. So I hope and pray that by the passage of this law, it will give opportunity to most of our cotton farmers. My only worry, Madam Speaker, is the National Assembly. And I was happy that Senator Moses Masika Wetangula was elected as Speaker. Madam Speaker, when the bills from National Assembly come, we process in a record speed. Even some of us whose bills have been, you see National Assembly bill has been brought forward. But when our bills, if we pass this today, it takes forever to be passed by National Assembly. And Senator Mahanzo knows that National Assembly, normally in conclusion, in quick succession, normally uses article, is it 110 on 110.3 on money bill. Madam Speaker, I hope this bill, the National Assembly will fast track the passage. Let us work in concurrence so that we don't need to fight over our legislative business. With those many remarks, to congratulate my sister and wish her well, I hope to see fruition of this bill and revive our cotton farming in the country once again. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I have a communication on the visiting teachers and students from Meteitei Boys High School in Nandi County. Honorable Senators, in the public gallery, we have 98 students, accompanied by 4 students from Meteitei Boys High School in Tinderet constituency, Nandi County, who are in Senate on an education tour. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. Senator Cherargei from Nandi will want to welcome.
Just to welcome. Madam Speaker, I didn't know it is my school, Metaite Boys High School. It's one of the best schools in Nandi. After, of course, the great Kapsabet Boys, where I went. And, of course, you know, the second and the fourth and the fifth president, my alma mater in Kapsabet Boys. But Metaite is one of our best school. I'm happy they came in when I was contributing. And of course, they don't doubt the capacity of their senator. So feel most welcome. I hope you learn a lot. Metete, Madam Speaker, is in Tindred sub-county. It's very cold, but a very nice school. We are doing a lot to expand the school, and it has been performing very well. So I want to wish them well as they are in Nairobi, and also they have seen the Senate, and wish them well as they go back. And all the best in your exams. We were once there where you are. In no time you will be where we are. So all the best, and God bless you as you go back to Tindred. I think I'll be in Tindred on Saturday. I hope if I get time, I can pass by. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and Karibuni Senate.
What is your point of order, Senator Kajwang?
Madam Speaker, it is not politically neat that when the students and teachers from Nandi come to the Senate, they find the man from Nandi is the only one welcoming them to the Senate. Because, Mr. Speaker, I believe that the senator for Nandi sees them regularly during prize-giving days, visits them regularly, changes their diet regularly. And so, Madam Speaker...
Senator Kajwang, do you want to welcome the guests in the gallery?
You read me perfectly, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me join Senator Cherargei in welcoming the students from Nandi. And the reason why I stood up is to help these students know that Kenya is bigger than Nandi. Kenya is bigger than Rift Valley. Kenya is bigger than Nyanza and Western. That Kenya is such a great country that sometimes, as the proverb goes, if you have not gone out of your mother's house, you might think that your mother is the best cook. In this house, we've got representatives from all the 47 counties in Kenya. We've got people from Turkana, people from Mandera, people from Kwale, people who come from the farthest corner of the country called Vanga. And I want the students to know that education that they are getting is not the end. It is a means to help them appreciate the universe. It is a means to help them conquer and improve the world that they are living in. Madam Speaker, I want to encourage the students that their aspiration should not just be to complete high school and then go to a university within Nandi County and then come back and work in Nandi County government. Their aspiration should be to conquer Kenya, to conquer Africa, to conquer the world, and conquer the universe. And they should remember that it is an African-born person who today is the richest man in the world, and who today is organizing how humans can go to Mars, and how humans can go to other planets. And so it is very, very possible. If they were to take the example of a son of the soil who started from very humble beginnings, and today is the resident of the house on the hill. And mark my words very carefully, he is the resident of the house on the hill, Madam Speaker. It is possible even for these young boys, not just to be the residents of the house on the hill, but to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. And so I want to encourage them that the sky is the limit. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Murango.
Asante sana mstahiki Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii ambayo niongee kuhusu mswada tulio nao mbele yetu kuhusu pamba. Yes, Senator Ndrama, I am very somber. Mstahiki
Senator Ledama, what's your point of order?
Madam Speaker, I have tremendous respect for my colleague, whom I always support whenever he stands up to raise issues, particularly on the issue of not cotton, agriculture. One which he's very, very passionate about, which has got to do with these nuts, which are exported, macadamia nuts. Madam Speaker, is it in order for the distinguished senator to purport that I was entertaining myself here with a bottle of Glenfiddich, that I'm drugged? I mean, seriously. He's saying that he's very sober. Did I ever say anything like him? You know, when he says that he's very sober, it means that I've been having a glass of Glenfiddich here, or any other glass of whiskey. Is he in order? Madam Speaker, he needs to substantiate that or withdraw that statement.
Senator Ledama, I think the Honorable Senator said he is sober. And no. No. Proceed with your presentation, Senator Morango.
Asante mstahiki Speaker, kwa heshima kubwa sana najua Senator Ndama anakunywanga maziwa peke yake. Kwa hivyo sikuwa namaanisha kwamba ni mlevi ama kuna kinyweo chochote ambacho anatumia pale. Mstahiki Speaker, nichukue nafasi hii kwanza kumshukuru Senator Betsy Yengo ambaye ni mwanachama wangu katika kamati ya kilimo, uvuvi, mifugo na uchumi samawati. Mstahiki Speaker, ni nadra sana seneta maalum kufanya bidii kiasi hicho kwamba amekuwa ni mmoja wa wale ambao wameleta miswada muhimu katika bunge la Seneti. Mstahiki Speaker, pamba tunapoongea inatupatia takriban bilioni 60. Lakini tuna uwezo wa kupata takriban trilioni 7.5 kama tutafanya kilimo cha pamba na kupatia wakulima pembejeo, kuondoa wakiritimba ambao wananyanyasa wakulima katika mitaala ya ukuzi na uuzaji wa pamba. Mstahiki Speaker, pamba katika Kenya hii inakuzwa katika maeneo 29, kaunti 29. Tulipokuwa tunazuru maeneo tofauti kwa sababu sisi kamati ya kilimo tuliamua kwamba tutatembelea wakulima kule chini, kwa sababu tulijua kwamba wakati tunaitisha makaratasi ambao watu kuleta maoni yao, wakiritimba pia wanatuma zile makaratasi kujaribu kufanya kwamba hizi miswanda ambazo zinasaidia wakulima hazitapita. Kwa hivyo tumekaa chini katika eneo la Churu Kitui, tumekuja Kitui Town, tumeenda Busia, tumekaa na ukiwa Mtata kuchukua maoni ya wakulima, na tulipokuwa pale Busia tulipata wakulima kutoka maeneo yote yale, kutoka Bungoma, Kakamega, Kisumu. Kituo kikubwa sana cha utafiti wa pamba kiko Kisumu, mahali kunaitwa Makasembo. Na kitu ambayo pia ni haikufurahisha sana ni kwamba tulipokuwa pia tunafanya ushiriki wa umma, ile pesa tunapewa kama kamati ya ukulima haikutosha, ikambindi tusiende zaidi. Lakini nyoyo zetu tulikuwa tunakusundia kwenda kaunti zote 29, na hata kama pesa itapatikana, nitakwambia Mstahiki Speaker, tutaendelea kufanya hivyo kwa sababu majibu ya wakulima ni muhimu zaidi tunapoyasikia sisi na kuona nyuso sawa.
What is your point of order, Honorable Cherargei?
Hoja ya nidhamu, usingependa kumtatiza ndugu yangu Senator Morango. Kulingana na kipengee 105 ameibua jambo ya uzito kuwa wangependa kuendelea kulingana na sehemu 118 ya katiba kukusanya maoni ya wakulima, lakini walifika mahali pesa ikaisha. Mstahiki Madam Speaker, Mstahiki Speaker, hiyo ni mambo ya kinyumbani, mambo ya in-house ambaye haitakikani, kwa sababu Mstahiki Speaker, ikiwa tutaambia wananchi wa Kenya hatutafanya ile kusanyaji ya maoni kulingana 118 ya kipengee ya katiba, itamaanisha kuwa hatutaweza kupata maoni ya wananchi, Mheshimiwa Spika, na nafikiri hiyo ni mambo ambayo tungesema saa ile tuko peke yetu. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable Cherarke, I think the Honorable Senator was just stating a fact of what happened that prohibited them from proceeding, and I do not find anything out of order with that statement. Proceed, Senator Murango.
Asante sana mstahiki Spika. Ningependa pia kumwelezea Senator wa Nandi kwamba wakati watu wanafanya ushiriki wa umma hawatumiangi mguu kama wale watu wanaitwa wakili timba kuuza ng'ombe. Inabidi pia kuna marazi na kuna vitu vingine vitahitajika. Kwa hivyo nikisema ya kwamba kamati haikuweza kumaliza kwa sababu kulikuwa na upungufu wa fedha, na maanisha kwamba ili tuweze kufanya kazi pia katika makadirio ya bajeti lazima tuwezeshwe kama seneta ama seneti tuweze kufanya kazi hiyo. Na pia nitaka kusema kwamba Kenya hii mambo tunayojadili katika seneti si asiri, ni ya umma. Mstahiki Speaker, Senator Anandi ametatiza tena mtiririko wangu wa mawazo, ambalo ni jambo ambalo singetaka kulifanya, kwa hivyo itambidi nifikirie hata zaidi kurudi mahali nilikuwa. Kwa hivyo Mstahiki Speaker, nilikuwa nasema katika ukuzaji na uuzaji wa pamba nyingi kutoka Kenya inaagizwa kutoka mataifa ya Tanzania na Uganda. Katika mitaala na mifumo viwanda vya pamba, wanawake 60% wanapata faida kwa kupata kazi katika zile kazi. Kuna maeneo ya kiuchumi ambayo inaitwa ipinzendi kwa kimombo. Mstahiki Speaker, ni vizuri ujue kwamba manguo zingine za kifahari ambazo zinakuanga na bei ghali zaidi kama Polo, Tommy Hilfiger, zinatengenezewa katika maeneo ya kiuchumi, kuuzwa Canada, kuuzwa Amerika, alafu Mkenya anazinunua tena kama mtumba, na yeye bado ndo mkuzaji pamba mkuu ambaye anafaa kufaidika na pesa na pia zile nguo ambazo zinatoka na ukuzaji wa pamba. Nikisema hivyo nataka kusema ya kwamba wakati serikali inapanga kupeana pembejeo, mandawa, wakati wanapanga kupeana mbolea ya ruzuku, ni vizuri wazingatia kwamba wakulima wa pamba wameachwa pakubwa. Katika mahali nimetoka Kirinyaga, ni jambo la kushuniza kwamba hata kiwanda cha kutoa pamba shamba lake lishaenda, na nilikuja nikauliza kauli kutoka kwa kamati ya mashamba hapa kwa takriban miezi kadhaa imeisha, tujue ile shamba na ile kiwanda kulifanyika nini. Kwa hivyo Mstahiki Speaker, kwa sababu ya muda najua kuna wengi wangetaka kushiriki katika jambo la pamba, na mimi nikiwa mwenyekiti wa ile kamati ambayo roho yangu, damu yangu inachemuka kuhusu kilimo, kwa sababu najua hiyo ndio itatunasua katika minyororo ya watu ambao tulikuwa tunawaita hasara, sababu kwa sababu wanaitwa mahurukutambu. Sasa nitapeana hii nafasi. Asante sana kwa kunipa nafasi ya kuongea Mstahiki Speaker.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute on this very important law. Madam Speaker, I'm also in the Committee of Agriculture, and I want to really congratulate the chair and the members. It came to a situation where the chair was using his own money, and I believe God will pay him one day so that we can do public participation. Madam Speaker, I want to say that the cotton grown in Kenya, and cotton growing in Kenya has gone through a lot of problems over the years. It used to be very popular in the 80s, and now as staggered, and there's a lot of problem in the country. Yet, cotton is a product needed worldwide. It's very marketable, and it's not a perishable good, so it can be stored. And one of the biggest challenges, as you've heard, we are now growing as a country 7 million tons when we have a capacity of doing 200 million tons. And this will really employ a lot of farmers, a lot of young people, and it will go a long way to help Kenyans, create employment and earn. Madam Speaker, there are regions in Kenya which can grow cotton, and there are many. And in fact, even the communities rarely cater could also invest very comfortably in cotton, because cotton growing it goes in the dry areas and favors many places. We realize in a place like Busia, there are small scale holders. Yet, we have also other places you can do huge farms. The coastal region, Ukambani, parts of northeastern, you can do big farms. But the problem has been how the country has handled this crop. First of all, now it is lumped up in AFA, and that's why we want to have a new law. But I want to say from the discussions which has been going on in this house, it has come out clear that on third reading, we have a lot of amendments to make. When you look at the history of cotton in the world, you know, it's been grown in America. The African slaves used to grow cotton, and it has also been used to make clothes, and it's a basic, it covers basic needs, clothing, and therefore is something which is highly needed. But unfortunately, it has been infested by cartels worldwide, such that few people want to own it and then release as they feel when the prices favor them. The seeds for farmers to grow. We have now got the new BT cotton in the country, which has now been approved through a presidential order when GMO products were allowed in the country. And the BT cotton, the problem is with GMO products, when you plant the tree, you have to look for a seed the next day. And therefore, every other time we go to buy the seeds from the company manufacturing these seeds. And right now there's only one dealer in Kenya, and a kilo of the seeds of cotton going for 4,000 Kenyan shillings and must be paid and bought in dollars. We need millions of kilos to be able to give to the farmers, and therefore it will cost Kenyans billions of shillings if you are to go the BT cotton way. However, during our tour we met Kenyans who are very passionate about cotton. The current seed we have can be improved. The way the mango seed was improved, and we've got better mangoes. We can also improve through research the current seeds which we have, so that every time we gin, we don't throw away the seed, it is taken back to the farmers for planting. But when you look at the situation in Uganda, the cotton there, a kilo is being bought for 100 shillings. Yet in Kenya is 52 shillings. So the Kenyans at the border are preferring to sell in Uganda other than selling with the ginners in Kenya. And again also, the people doing the ginning, some of them are private companies. There's a monopoly now with where you can supply. And we are saying we need to set free where farmers, if the price keeps on being regulated by a few individuals. But the question is, what is the benefit of the farmer? So the farmer is putting in a lot of input and then eventually end up in a lot of trouble by failing to recover whatever they release. And one way is for the government to supply to help the farmer. In Tanzania, the government gives the farmer the seeds. Then it gives the inputs. There's a lot of spray which has to go, the herbicides, pesticides. Then it goes on to help to buy from the farmer, and the other processes, value addition chains, they also deal with them. Now, when you go back to the BT cotton, the experience in India was that the byproducts of this BT, part of it is food for animals. The other one, they are doing biodiesel. You see these. There are quite a number of products such that with the cotton plant, you end up utilizing it 99%. You only lose 1%. But the experience in India with this BT cotton was that when the cakes were given to cows, which is a very serious matter in Indian culture, the cows diarrheaed to death. And therefore, there was more research, and many other farmers came up with a better seed, which is even better than the BT one. So it's not that BT is perfect. In fact, the BT cotton needs a lot of herbicides and spray, meaning it's very expensive. And Kenya is not helping the farmer in any way, just like the case of Tanzania. And therefore, Tanzanians ends up with a lot of storage for cotton, a lot of it, which they can sell to the world markets with the best prices, because the government is involved and has helped the farmer. So we need to come up with a situation, and the so-called boards now, cotton is devolved So, are we going to have a national board, really? And how are we going to appoint the members and the chair? Are we going back to the president appointing the chair? Or is it parliament? Or is it the counties? Should the counties also have their own boards? What's the role of COG? Because this is a devolved thing. And I believe because Honorable Siango has been taking notes, at third reading, we will see amendments originating from ourselves, from the committee, and from members, so that we can make this law much better. So one of the biggest problems is competition also. If competition was promoted, then it means the best prices will be found for farmers and there will be benefit to the farmers. I'll give an example. Mercedes-Benz from German was a car which was domineered, and they did not allow competition with other makes such as Audi, BMW. And then there will be cartels before you acquire a single piece of a car of Mercedes-Benz. But the Germans opened the market to other brands, competitive brands, allowed even Toyota to sell in Germany, allowed other brands to sell in Germany. And although Mercedes is a popular car for German and BMW followed by Audi, you still once in a while find a Nissan or a Toyota on the soil of Germany as a country and many other parts of Europe. So the growing and the selling of cotton should be competitive. In Kenya, it's held by cartels. And there's only one place you can sell. So they determine the price, they make it small and exploit the farmer, and therefore the farmer gives up and never grows cotton again and moves. And I'll give you another example. One time when I was a committee of agriculture in the National Assembly, there was a problem in Meru with tea. And we went there with the Deputy Speaker and the Honorable Kareke Buki, quite a number of members. And the farmers, they said, we have given Parliament 1 week, failure of which we shall cut down all the tea, we will grow macadamia and avocados. We are fed up or be exploited as farmers. And I'm telling you, the way the farmers put it, we have no choice but to help the farmers as a house. Otherwise, within 1 week, they had their money in the pocket. And this is the same problem now cotton is having. The farmer ends up being exploited and feels very bad. And with many regions in the country where we can grow cotton, the whole of Tana River, I wish Honorable Mugatana was here, but I know he's in the Pan-African Parliament. I'm sure he will be very useful at third reading. So the price is a problem. And then we have, the issue of this particular plant be so much needed in the world. And therefore, if we as a country invested in it and grew a lot of cotton, we really increase the GPD of the country. We will be able to, farmers will make money, they will be taxed appropriately, and then they will not feel exploited and they'll build the country. So there's really been a problem when it comes to this. Now, when we went around, we realized that the smallholders, in places like Busia, they have some parts with small farms, and the other parts with huge farms. So, with the smallholders, they really need to be assured, because it means instead of growing their normal food stuff, like maize and the like, and cotton can persevere dry seasons, then it means if you make cotton better, they'll go back to cotton growing, and they have ginaries around there. They have ginaries around Busia, and they are looking forward to this. And we have said one of the ways of managing this is through the cooperative movement. If farmers are in cooperatives, then it means cooperatives in Kenya can cooperate with other cooperatives abroad. And that will really remove the broker. It means cooperatives in Kenya can do their own ginning. It means cooperatives in Kenya can do their own spinning. It means cooperatives in Kenya can deal with the final product, which is clothing. And therefore, the government really has to take the cooperative movement seriously, because the countries which have succeeded in this plant, like in India, there are cooperative movements. One of the best examples is Israel, where you have the kibbutz and the mashav. And the kibbutz grow the plants, and the mashav market as a cooperative. So if we really have to help and regularize, it is also through the cooperatives they will be able to look for the seeds, because the seeds are very important. And it is through the cooperatives farmers will help each other. And also form circles of cotton growing farmers, so that they can save monies when they are paid. And when they need capital, there is a place they can acquire it quickly. And the good thing about the cooperative movements It begins from the grassroots. It begins from the village. It is national in Kenya. We have Cusco, which is a national body. Then when you go international, you have World Council of Credit Unions, WOCU, which deals with that line of financing. If you come to the agricultural cooperatives and other business cooperatives, you have the International Cooperative Alliance. And even WOCU usually make grants to help small upcoming cooperatives. And therefore, for a struggling farming cooperative of cotton, they can easily get international grants so that they can stabilize and grow. And then cooperatives cooperate with cooperatives. The good example is CIC when it was down. It was helped by a similar cooperative under the leadership of then Mr. Kuria from Canada. They borrowed the CIC insurance, which I'm proudly part of, and I'm proudly, insure there, and they're very reliable. Was now revived. So if we have bigger cotton cooperatives other parts of the world, they will help us revive our own cooperatives here. And this is a way now the government can be assisted if it doesn't want to do like the Tanzanian model of funding the cotton farmer from grassroots to the top. And even under International Cooperative Alliance, there are many other cooperatives in Asia and other places which grow cotton. They will be able to cooperate and they will be able to determine the world prices. And people will no longer be exploited as they are being exploited today, because this is what has led cotton farming become hard, become miserable. I am aware that the coastal region is really looking forward to this crop. Taita Taveta is looking forward to this crop. The whole 3 counties of Ukambani are looking forward to this crop. And the farmers and children will be busy. We will not have idlers because everybody is busy either picking cotton or planting cotton. And then also, this law must come up with a way of regularizing in a manner that you can be able to know the season of growing, so that the whole country plants at the same time. Then the inputs and the issue of extension officers is very critical in this country. You need extension officers to tell them how to spray, what to spray. And the country now is encouraging organic spray because also of taking care of the environment. And eventually when you do a lot of spraying of cotton, when it used to be done when I was young, snakes would die even, which are near the farms. Many other small animals will die other than just the insects. So the damage would then be very big. The damage would then be very, very big, Madam Speaker. So that we want to also help and save the environment through making safe methods. And therefore, organic farming and organic spraying is very much encouraged so that it doesn't also injure many Kenyans who are handling the pesticides. Now, with extension officers and with the death of extension officers in this country, with the failure of devolution, although agriculture is devolved, it has to move from the national government to the counties. With that, what has happened is now the extension officers who are existing are about 2 years to retirement, and I'm just hoping they're going to be good citizens who will continue helping the farmer and the village. The country has to train extension officers in agriculture. They are none. We must have a policy of extension officers because Kenya is an agricultural economy. We are doing away with extension officers gradually, and therefore we must have a system, a policy of training extension officers and having them placed in the counties so that they can work and save the nation from this gap we are going to face when there's nobody who knows how to handle herbicides, nobody else to do animal husbandry, nobody to help with the cropping. The old extension officers who know about this cotton are retiring, and others are dying out of economic hard times upon retirement. So, Madam Speaker, we really have to look at the story and the issue of extension officers so that we make sure when we grow cotton, then we have people who can guide the farmers. Today, unfortunately, farmers are guiding themselves when it comes to pesticides, herbicides. The companies which are manufacturing like Trigger Chemicals are not able to do this. And then financing. For those who work through the cooperatives, the cooperative bank has been very kind enough to work with coffee farmers, tea farmers, and now can even work with cotton farmers. And you will find that they can finance cooperatives to do ginaries, to own ginaries, to buy and own ginaries. And then now, finally, the land tenure system With the smallholders, we need to be sure what they are doing. With the big holders, it means there are private companies who can be growing this the way pineapples are grown, and it means also we have farmers in a cooperative. And again, also when they work together like that, you'll be able to zone the region, and we'll be able to know to control the pesticides better, especially if they are using natural methods. Because you see, cotton is attacked by pests when it is the balls, and then when it has burst out, and you can see the white cotton. Again, also there are pesticides which come and attack and give it bad coloring and even damage, because some of them are very nasty, some of the pesticides, and some breed in that situation. And therefore, we have to have a way of making sure the crop is taken proper care. It's taken proper care, and Madam Speaker will be able to help Kenyans grow this process. So this law is important, because without regulations, without a policy, there is a problem. The policy of cotton growing in this country is still wanting. Even before we make a law, the government should have brought a policy ahead of the law. But because the government has not brought a policy, we've got now to develop the law and the policy at the same time. And that's why this law should also give guidelines. And the good news also is regulations will lie after the act by the minister in charge of agriculture. These regulations now fit in what was left out in the main act, and also goes a long way to explain how some of these processes are going to be implemented so that the country can benefit and farmers can benefit. I really thank you, Madam Speaker, and say that this is a very important law, and I want to make a distinction between the National Assembly and this place. You know, here, it is almost next to impossible to get a private member's bill going through in the National Assembly. Now, this bill, after it leaves here, is going to National Assembly. And I hope that having very many constituencies which are cotton growing there, including Makueni County, they are going to move very fast, so that, and even improve the law better, so that we can be able to have well-censored and profit-making cotton growing in the country. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Wafula. Senator Wafula, I'm advised that you already contributed to this bill. So I think we give this. No. I think we go to Senator Osoti. I'm told that that's the rule.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to this very important bill, which is the Cotton Industry Development Bill 2023. Madam Speaker, allow me to thank the sponsor of this bill, who is Senator Betty Siengo, for bringing up this bill. I think she deserves a commendation for this very important initiative to try and improve the standards of living of our people by providing a framework for the production, the marketing, the farming, the value addition, distribution of cotton in this country. Madam Speaker, from the onset, I support this bill by saying that I think it's a high time that this country focused on bringing back the country to the position it had in 1970s, when Kenya was one of the leading cotton producers in the world. And in fact, cotton then supported over 200,000 households in this country. In the counties where we come from, Madam Speaker, we see so many ginaries which are not being used now. but when we were growing up, we saw them all over. That is a clear sign that, Madam Speaker, that indeed the cotton industry in this country has died. I think through this bill, if well implemented, we hope that Kenya will take its position as one of the leading cotton producers in this world. Madam Speaker, when we talk about cotton, I think many people just think that cotton is about production of textiles. But Madam Speaker, cotton can do so many other things. Cotton, we know it is used in the health sector, especially for managing wounds. Cotton can also be used in production of pharmaceuticals. Cotton can also be used in the fishing industry, production of fish nets. Cotton can also be used in the coffee processing, production of coffee filters. Cotton can also be used in beauty, production of soaps, production of cosmetics, livestock feeds, even fertilizer, Madam Speaker, paper. So cotton can do a broad range of things that can help to grow an economy. But the biggest problem, Madam Speaker, that we have in this country is that, yes, they say we are an agricultural country. We produce agricultural products. But, Madam Speaker, the biggest challenge we have is value addition. If we don't have value addition for our agricultural products, Madam Speaker, then we will not maximize on our investment in agriculture. Madam Speaker, I happen to have been one of the members of the Liaison Committee who recently traveled to Dubai. And in our trip, one of the places we went to was we went to visit the EPZ equivalent of Dubai. And one of the companies in the EPZ of Dubai is KTDA. They are doing value addition, machineries given by the Dubai government, and because of that, they're able to export to a number of countries. Madam Speaker, we looked around the kind of machinery that is there, and we asked ourselves, this is not machinery that is so difficult for Kenya to have. We can have the same machinery to do value addition in Kenya and maximize on our production of tea in this country. So, Madam Speaker, the issue of value addition is an issue that the government must seriously think about it. And that is not just in tea, cotton, sugar, everything. Value addition is critical. And I'm happy the chairperson of agriculture, who is very passionate about macadamia nuts, and is working very hard to ensure that value addition for macadamia nuts is done in this country. I want to commend you, Senator Murango, for that. But you need now to enhance your interest in other crops like coffee, tea, sugar, and the others, so that we can maximize on the opportunities available for value addition. Madam Speaker, we know there are a lot of challenges in cotton industry. One is the poor seeds, the quality of seeds that are given to our farmers. We have issues to do with high input costs, the cost of production. And this is not just for cotton, Madam Speaker. Even for other crops, the cost of production, the cost of farming in this country is so high. And that is why we can't compete favorably with the other countries. The issue of weather, Madam Speaker, climate change, you know, Madam Speaker, climate change is a key factor. But our Ministry of Agriculture, they have not integrated climate change into their planning on agricultural issues. So I think, Madam Speaker, these challenges, the Ministry of Agriculture has to look at them very carefully. If this country was able to sustain its position in terms of being one of the leading cotton producers in the world, probably cotton would be a major income generator for this country. Madam Speaker, a country like Turkey has become a very important country globally because of their strength in the textile industry. Egypt, Madam Speaker, everyone is asking for cotton made in Egypt. That is the space that we should be occupying as Kenyans. But that space has been taken away by other countries. So I think those who talk about improving the economy, they should start by improving our agricultural sector so that they can spur the GDP and make this country an economic giant. Madam Speaker, this bill reminds me of the wrong decision that was made some time back by the Kenyan government to try and put all crops under one regulator, Agriculture and Food Authority, AFA. That was the worst decision that was made in the agriculture sector. They lumped together sugar, tea, coffee, cotton under one regulator. But now, you can see now there are efforts to try and unbundle that. There are efforts to try and get back the Sugar Act. And now we now have the Tea Act. And now Madam Senator Betty is now coming up with this bill. That decision largely affected the agricultural sector, and especially, Madam Speaker, the sugar industry. That was the beginning of the collapse of the sugar industry that we know today. Otherwise, in my view, I think the sugar industry would still be stronger if it was still managed by Kenya Sugar Board then. Madam Speaker, I think we'll be looking at this bill as we go on in the committee of the whole House to try and raise amendments, particularly on the aspect of aligning it to the AFA Act, which clearly we are moving away from it. If this bill is aligned properly, I think this is the way to go. And I once again commend our ODM woman president for bringing up this bill. And you know, ODM is a party that is well structured. So the women of this country who are listening to us today, and I see my friend, my colleague, neighbor, Cheregei coming in to tell him that ODM is a party of progress. ODM is a party that brings changes in all sectors. And if this bill is passed, this will be the first bill that has been passed by the woman president of the Orange Democratic Movement, whom we thank so much, Madam Betty Siengo. Thank you. I support.
There's no other contributor, so I wish to call upon the mover to reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to reply to the bill. And I want to take to recognition the contribution that has been made by different senators in this bill. Taking the points that they have raised, I want to appreciate all the senators who have contributed. A record of over 10 senators, and they have all supported the bill. and I cannot take it for granted. Taking an example of Senator Moses Kajwang, the senator for Homa Bay, who's brought out the reason why cotton should be revived, because it is a way of empowering farmers and ensuring that there is development in this country, and also alluded that the time that cotton was being grown in Homa Bay, it had also spiritual value or role it played to the people of Homa Bay. Senator Oledama of Narok also supported the bill and said it is also giving hope to an industry that had collapsed. And although he also suggested for some amendments. Senator Ogola, who also supported the bill and talked of the importance of bringing the extension officers, agricultural extension officers in full force in our counties, and that will also support credit facilities in the country. Senator Tabitha Mutinda also supported the bill, talked of how cotton will be a great revenue way of bringing income, and the impact that cotton growing had in this country. And if cotton industry is revived, it will ensure even manufacturing processes will also take place. Madam Speaker, allow me also to thank the Senator of Busia County who supported the bill and talked of how cotton products are so useful in this country, and actually talked of how we should strengthen the research centers or research institutes to ensure that cotton industry is improved. A senator nominated by ODM, Senator Amida, gave a good name to this crop, said cotton is white gold and it has medicinal value. Thanking the great senator of Nandi County, Senator Cherargei from the government side, who supported the bill again and revert to industries that collapsed because of cotton growing going back. He quoted the industries of Kikomi in Kisumu County and talked of sustainability and also development and ensuring growth through the SDGs. Senator Murango, who is my chair of the Agriculture Committee and very able chair of this committee, also gave even statistics of the produce from cotton. And he is very passionate also about cotton revival. And he talked of how cotton can give us more than 60 trillion as income in this country, and said that the cotton that is used by even genus within the country come from neighboring countries, yet this country has great potential of cotton production. Senator Murango spoke of the way this revival of cotton industry will also ensure value chain of the crop and other byproducts that will come. Senator Manzo of Makueni spoke well and supported the bill also, Madam Speaker, and said that the product is not perishable and it can last for long. Farmers, when they are growing cotton, the bill is suggesting that we create collection centers, can be stored for long and it will not go bad, and so farmers will not suffer losses. He also talked of the seed that needs to be given to the farmers, or the support that government should give to the farmers, growers of cotton, and not only to rely on BT cotton. Madam Speaker, Senator Manso for Makueni also spoke of the prices of cotton, how they need to be improved. Senator Ososi of Vihiga County spoke of value addition and how it is important to revive the cotton industry, among so many other good things that he said about this bill. So I wish to thank all these senators who did support the bill. And Madam Speaker, allow me to say that as a committee, agriculture committee, we went around the country, as the chair mentioned, and we did public participation. And the committee is compiling the report that will be also analyzed, and the inputs will be brought for incorporation in the bill before it goes to the next level. Madam Speaker, I really thank you and thank all the senators who have contributed to this bill, and I look forward to the revival of cotton industry in this country. Madam Speaker, cotton will make sure farmers have got money in their pockets and will bring revenue to our counties and to the national government. I thank you, and Madam Speaker, I reply to the bill. Madam Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 66, Part 3, I request that you defer putting off the question to a later date. Thank you.
What is your point of order?
Kanuni za kundumu 41. Naogopa kusema kwamba naona kama hakuna maseneta wa kutosha kuendelea na biashara ya bunge hii ya Seneti. Asante.
Clerk, can you verify? The putting of the question for Senator Siengo, putting of the question on your bill is deferred as requested. To Tuesday. It is deferred to Tuesday. Next week. Clerk, can you verify the issue of quorum? Thank you, Madam Speaker. We don't have. So we don't have quorum. Can you ring the bell for 10 minutes? Uh, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 41, there being no quorum, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 30th May 2023 at 2:30 p.m.